2025 isn't just another year. It's a financial turning point. Across the United States and the United Kingdom, people are asking the same questions. Why does everything cost more? Where is the economy heading? And what trends will define whether ordinary people thrive or just survive in the years ahead? If you're living in the US or the UK, the financial trends of 2025 aren't just statistics. They shape your paycheck, your rent, your groceries, your savings, and even your future dreams. Today, we're breaking down the powerful forces driving money, markets, and everyday life in America and Britain. And by the end, you'll not only understand the trends, you'll know how to position yourself on the winning side of them. Let's start with the reality everyone feels: the cost of living. In the US, the inflation wave that surged in the early 2020s has slowed, but prices haven't gone back to normal. Groceries, housing, and healthcare remain higher than pre-pandemic levels. In the UK, the situation is just as intense. Energy bills, food costs, and rent are pushing millions to budget harder than ever. Here's the trend. Inflation in both countries is stabilizing, but not reversing. This means wages have to stretch further. Essentials are consuming more of household income than luxuries. People are redefining what middle class means. The American dream and the British dream are both shifting. Owning a home, raising a family, and retiring comfortably used to be the standard. In 2025, for many, just keeping up feels like success. But here's the silver lining. When costs rise, innovation rises too. We're seeing growth in budget-friendly services, digital tools that track spending, and communities forming around smarter money management. People are learning that financial literacy is no longer optional, it's survival. Housing has always been at the heart of financial health. In 2025, the US and UK face similar but unique challenges. In the US, mortgage rates remain higher than in the 2010s, making homeownership harder for first-time buyers. Inventory is tight, and cities like Austin, Miami, and Nashville are still booming. Meanwhile, rental markets are fierce. Young professionals and families are competing for limited spaces. In the UK, London continues to be one of the most expensive cities on earth, while cities like Manchester and Birmingham are attracting those priced out of the capital. Government schemes help some buyers, but housing affordability remains the great British struggle. Trend: renting is no longer seen as temporary. For millions, it's the long-term plan. And with that shift, investors and landlords are gaining power, unless new policies rebalance the scales. For individuals, this means rethinking the old financial roadmap. Buying a home at 25 or 30 isn't realistic for most anymore. Instead, people are focusing on building wealth in other ways: investing, side hustles, and digital assets. The workplace has changed forever. Remote and hybrid work are no longer perks. They're standard in many industries. In the US, tech hubs are spreading beyond Silicon Valley. Cities in the Midwest and South are benefiting as companies hire remote talent nationwide. In the UK, flexible work is redefining the London-centered job market, giving workers outside the capital more opportunities. But here's the catch: AI and automation are replacing some roles while creating others. Both countries are racing to upskill their workforce. Trend: job security in 2025 comes from adaptability. The safest workers aren't the ones with the longest resumes, but the ones with the ability to learn, pivot, and reinvent themselves as industries evolve. Artificial intelligence isn't a future trend. It's today's reality. In the US, AI startups are exploding. From healthcare to logistics, companies are using AI to cut costs and boost profits. In the UK, financial services in London are leading in AI adoption, reshaping how banking and investment work. But with opportunity comes disruption. Jobs in customer service, administration, and even some creative fields are being automated. At the same time, new careers in AI management, prompt engineering, and digital ethics are rising. Trend: in 2025, the financial winners are those who embrace AI, not fear it. Workers who learn to leverage AI as a tool will command higher incomes. Investors who spot the right AI-driven companies will see major returns. and everyday people using AI to manage finances, budgeting apps, investment platforms, even side hustles will stretch their money further. Another massive trend shaping 2025: energy. The U.S. is investing heavily in renewable energy, electric vehicles, and sustainable infrastructure. The Inflation Reduction Act is pouring billions into green projects. The UK, with its net zero 2050 target, is scaling up offshore wind and clean energy. But here's the key. The shift to green energy isn't just about saving the planet. It's about money. Energy bills in the UK skyrocketed in recent years, forcing households to prioritize efficiency. In the US, states with strong green incentives are attracting jobs and new industries. Trend: green finance, investments tied to sustainability, is booming. If you're an investor, 2025 is the year to pay attention. But for households, the short-term challenge remains. Energy costs are still unpredictable, and families are learning to adapt by budgeting smarter and upgrading homes with efficiency in mind. Debt is the hidden storm. In the U.S., credit card debt has crossed record highs. Student loans remain a heavy burden for millions. In the UK, household debt is growing as families borrow just to keep up with rising costs. The danger? When debt grows faster than income, financial freedom slips further away. But here's the twist. Financial literacy content on YouTube, TikTok, podcasts is giving people tools they never had before. People are learning about credit repair, debt repayment strategies, and how to outsmart interest rates. Trend: the culture around debt is changing. Instead of shame, there's now conversation. And with conversation comes solutions, shared hacks, budgeting tools, and community support. 2025 is redefining what it means to invest. Stocks. The U.S. market is stabilizing after volatility, with tech, healthcare, and energy leading. In the UK, London remains a financial hub, though investors are also looking abroad for growth. Crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum are still relevant, but the wild speculative days are fading. Stable coins and government-backed digital currencies are gaining attention. Alternative investments, real estate crowdfunding, fractional shares, and even digital collectibles are expanding access to investing. Trend: investing is no longer for the elite. Everyday people, teachers, delivery drivers, nurses, are putting small amounts into markets. Technology is democratizing wealth creation. The challenge? Knowing where to put your money without falling for hype. Here's a trend that doesn't make headlines every day but explains so much. The generational divide. Baby boomers in both the US and UK control the majority of wealth, housing, retirement accounts, investments. Millennials and Gen Z are facing higher costs, stagnant wages, and tougher odds. This wealth gap is reshaping politics, culture, and family life. Younger generations are delaying marriage, children, and homeownership, not because they don't want it, but because it's harder than ever. Trend: in 2025, family wealth transfers, inheritance, gifts, financial help are becoming the silent driver of opportunity. If you're born into wealth, the path is smoother. If not, you'll need creativity, resilience, and strategy to climb. One thing is clear: neither the US nor the UK exists in a vacuum. Global supply chains, wars, climate events, and international policies shape domestic finances. The US dollar remains the world's strongest currency, but competition is rising. The UK, post-Brexit, is navigating trade in a more complicated world. Trend: geopolitics will play a bigger role in personal finances than most people realize. A war across the globe can raise your gas bill. A trade deal can shift your job market. In 2025, staying financially aware means paying attention not just locally, but globally.
The way we spend is evolving. In the US, mobile payments and cashless transactions are now standard. In the UK, contactless cards dominate daily life, and digital banks are growing fast. Central banks in both countries are exploring digital currencies, government-backed alternatives to crypto. This could transform how money works at its core. Trend: cash is fading. Digital money is rising. And with it comes both convenience and surveillance. The winners will be those who adapt early, learning digital tools, securing financial privacy, and staying alert to scams. So, what do these trends mean for you in 2025? They mean that financial freedom isn't about luck. It's about awareness, adaptability, and action. If you understand inflation, you can budget smarter. If you know housing trends, you can make informed rent versus buy decisions. If you embrace AI and technology, you can future-proof your career. If you start investing, even small amounts, you can build wealth over time. The US and UK economies are changing fast, but change always creates opportunity. The winners of 2025 will not be the ones who complain about the system. It will be the ones who learn the rules, master the trends, and play smarter. So ask yourself, are you surviving the trends, or are you using them to thrive? Because 2025 isn't just happening to you. It's waiting for you to shape it.